Hello, I am Poppy Cooks and I am the queen of potatoes on the internet. It's getting into winter time, festive holiday period, Christmas. So I want to show you how to just make everything so good for your Christmas dinner or just Sunday dinners in general. So these are going to be my delicious Herby goose fat roast potatoes. First of all, you're going to need, in the UK, Maris Piper potatoes, or if you're in the US, it is a russet potato or an Idaho potato. I believe a russet's a little bit better for this because they're a little bit starchier, but I also think they could be the same. I'm not 100% sure. Let me know. I think Idaho potatoes are just from Idaho, russet potatoes are everywhere else. My rule of thumb is basically at least one potato per person, which an average potato is around 200 grams. So if you're cooking for 4 people, you're gonna have about 800 grams of potatoes. If it's Christmas, it should be a little bit higher than that. So I would say it's probably 1.5 potatoes per person because you want extra roast potatoes. So to start off with, just peel your potatoes. I like to use a Y peeler, very easy. And I like to start from the top of the potato and use my thumb to kind of pull it all the way down. That's about as exciting as it gets about potato peeling. Again, for Christmas, you can get your potatoes peeled and parboiled before Christmas Day. It's quite good to use the larger potatoes sometimes as well, because then at least you know you're getting 4 big old bits of roast potato. Obviously you can use the little ones, but you wouldn't necessarily cut it up. Just have it as it is, a whole roast potato. That's what dreams are made of. This is what dreams are made of. Potato peelings, if you've washed your potatoes and they're nice and clean, you can air fry them with a little bit of oil and salt and eat them. If not, just get them into your compost. They're really good for compost. Once you've got your potatoes all peeled and lovely, you're going to want to chop them up. So for a big old patati, well, I think actually, especially for festive times, you kind of want chunky roast potatoes to make sure you're getting, you know, your equal share. But then if you've got, I suppose, a bit of a smaller one, like this one, that will just be in half. That'll be absolutely fine, like that. As long as the thickness is similar. So what you want to make sure when you're making roast potatoes, I'm down here, I'm sorry, is to get your potatoes into the pan and then use cold water to cover, just to cover as well. If you want to be really special, you should actually get all your potatoes into one layer in a pan, but no one has a pan big enough for that. So it'd be 1 layer of potatoes, then just enough water to cover, and then plenty of salt. But I'm going to use, we're at about 2 layers deep in this pan. I'm just going to get some cold water just to cover. Bear with me. Here we go. So just covered in water. And because it's Christmas, let's add a bit more flavour to them. So I've got a couple of chicken stock cubes. I think they're chicken. Just silver. I don't know what silver is. I actually think that's pork. It might be a stock pot. Bear with me. Let me see. I tried to go all like Kardashian with my stocks. But that then does mean the one chicken one that I can see is too far down and I can't be asked for that. So I'll just get the, I'll just get one of these out instead. So we'll use 2 of these little stock pots rather than stock cubes. Chicken I'm going for, but you could do, chicken's best because we're putting it in goose fat to be fair. And we're serving it with turkey. So, oh, unless they have a turkey one, maybe they do. 1 more for good luck. It's all extra flavour and deliciousness. And then we're just going to put a bit of salt in as well. Even though the stock does have salt in, we still want to make sure that that water's heavily seasoned with salt so that the potatoes don't lose any of their nutrients and also they just brings out their more natural flavour. Again, if you add salt at the end, it ends up tasting like salt rather than potato. And that goes onto the hob on high for, that's it, on high. So we're going to bring it up to the boil. Once it's at a boil, we're going to boil our potato for around 10 to 15 minutes. So it's on the hob probably for about a total of 25 minutes or so. But yeah, once it's got up to the boil, leave it for 10 to 15. The potatoes have been boiling for around 15 minutes, so just give them a little test. That knife going in and then them plomping off means that they are ready. So turn them off, and then we're just going to drain them into a little colander here. And I've got a bowl underneath. You can just do this straight into the sink, or you can keep the stock actually if you wanted to. That's good for a gravy if you're just doing a normal roast dinner. Drain them into here. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. They're gonna splash. Lovely. Take that out because that's gonna be covered in water. And then what I like to do, it's a bit steamy up there, is to put this colander, get all that water out first, back into the pan that you've just cooked them in, like so. And then put that pan back onto the turned off hob, it's off, but there's still residual heat there. And then I'm gonna put a tea towel over the top. So that residual heat, so any water is going to drop into that pan. It's still going to be fairly warm on a turned off hob, and that water is then going to turn into steam, which is going to come back up and help steam dry the potatoes. And then any steam escaping from the top is kept in with the tea towel, making sure they're nice and dry. The drier you get them, the crispier you get them. That's with most things if you're cooking them. It's festive season, isn't it? So we're going to be using goose fat, and lots of it. Now, goose fat is a lovely way to really add rich flavour into your roast potatoes. It's got quite a high smoking point, so you can get them in nice and hot, get them super crispy. You can use lots of different fats. I think that's enough. I'll just do one more for safety. It's Christmas. It's literally not, it's October, but here we are. So that is gonna go into the oven to preheat at about 200 degrees Celsius with the fan on. But you can use different fats as well. There's duck fat, goose fat, beef tallow or beef fat in the UK, lard if you wanted to. But lard has got a bit of a funky taste to it sometimes. Quite good for chips, but maybe not so good for roast potatoes. So that is going into the oven to get nice and hot. We want it really hot, so as soon as those potatoes hit the fat, they like right. Woo! That's hot. So that's got smoking hot. You can see there's a nice thin layer of fat all the way across the tray. Oh, the potatoes are vacuumed in together. There we go. You've got these lovely fluffy potatoes. Ow! Splashed on me, be careful. All those little bits that have all smushed down are just gonna get super crispy. And then they're my little chef's treats, they are. As I'm like getting everything ready and served, I eat the little crispy bits of potato. So, get some tongs or a turner or whatever you've got. You wanna give the potatoes a good coating with the fat. Just turn all of them. So they've got a bit of fat on every side, so that even the side that's not touching the tray has got some fat on it. Oh, that one just completely broke apart. That's for me. So I'm gonna push them all to the sides a little bit, just because, like I said, I know that it gets hotter around the edges. And then this is going back into the oven at 200 degrees Celsius for around half an hour. With your goose fat roast potatoes, which are in the oven, we're gonna make a little herby, little Christmassy salt. So we've got some sage. We've got about 10 to 12 sage leaves. Just pick those down, get them into a pestle and mortar. I've heard someone pronounce it pesta and mortar, but I'm not sure now whether I've been saying it incorrectly for a very long time. So just pick those down. We don't want any of the stems, but you can save the stems for if you're making gravy sauces, putting it in your turkey. So sage leaves go in. I've also got some rosemary sprigs, a couple of rosemary sprigs. What you want to do to get the rosemary sprigs off, the actual lovely herbaceous leaves. That went right up my nose then, apologies. Still going to use it, it's all right, 5-second rule, isn't it? So you kind of take it backwards and then you run your fingers down the stem and then pinch off the leaf. Why can't I now do this? It's just so normal to do, but I can't do it. Just like that. So a couple of rosemary sprigs. You could change it up with what herbs you want. I would suggest you use these kind of harder herbs. Now, harder herbs are the kind of, they've got like woodier stems. They're less like the leafy greens of like parsley and cilantro or coriander or basil. Whereas those sort of leaves, when they get damaged and cut, they go black. Whereas these harder herbs, they still keep their greenness, especially as we're going to bash them into salt. Then I've got some lovely thyme. Now, thyme's a tricky one to get everything off, so I'm not too particular with it. As long as we don't get that fat stalk in it, I don't really mind. So you still go backwards, down, and in. I'm going to get a little bit of garlic as well. 1 clove of garlic, a nice thick clove of garlic. This is optional, but it should be mandatory because garlic's the best. That's going in as well. And then I'm winging it in terms of weights, but it's around 2 tablespoons of salt, which is a nice cup full. No, not a cup as in like the US cups, but like a cup in your handful. And then you just start bashing and you can let out all your inner tension. Get that garlic in first. And we should get, after a good 10 minutes of mortaring. Would you say mortaring or pestling? I don't know. Bashing. You'll get this lovely green herbaceous salt. I've decided that because it's a festive time and that it is Christmas, we're going to put it in the spice grinder purely because it's taking too much time, and you know we're getting things going. People are arriving. It's time to serve dinner. We've got the maiden voyage of this spice grinder. I'm very excited. That's kind of why I wanted to get it out, to be fair. I got it on the old Amazon sale, you know what I mean? Get it in. Anyway, so if you can't be arsed like me to grind it by hand, get it in your spice grinder instead, sweet. Get all that lovely goodness. I will get the rest of that out, but I just want to see, why am I so excited by this? That's easier, isn't it? Oh, that's so much easier. Hey! Green salt. I'm going to put a bit more salt in, just because I can see that obviously the leaves of the herbs and the garlic have moisture in, so we don't want it to be necessarily wet. It can have a little bit of moisture, but I just want it a touch drier. You can also add a little bit of lemon zest into here as well if you wanted to. A really easy way to elevate any sort of dish, but on these little roast potatoes, it's just going to add so much flavour, because you're always going to sprinkle a little bit of salt on your roast potatoes because it's just got to be done. It has got to be done. So this is adding even more flavour to that sprinkle of salt. Right, I'm going to get me spuds out and then we can start sprinkling. Look at those beauties. That is just one of the most delicious looking roast potatoes. Goose fat. Oh, my wrist, hang on, I've got to put it down because my wrist is absolutely breaking. Put it on there, just for a second. There we go. So, these gorgeous, gorgeous things are just soaked in fat, crispy, fluffy on the inside, and this is what I mean by those chef treats. Whilst they're on the tray, I'm going to give them a little sprinkle of our lovely herby salt, just so I can give it a bit of a toss. Move the tray whilst you sprinkle. Be careful that you don't burn your little fingers. And we're putting it on at the end because actually the herbs don't need to be cooked, and neither does the garlic, because you're getting that full flavour and you're not adding too much to it. The fact that they're making this beautiful noise in this metal tray. Oh, get yourself a nice little serving plate, or a little platter if you're doing your little Christmas dinner. I can't stop eating them. Right, and then load them up. Like you can see, there isn't that much on them because that would be way too overpowering. So you're just getting little bits, and then people, when they eat them, they're going, oh, what's that lovely flavour coming through? And you're like, it's my little secret Herby salt. I'm so excited. I'm so sad. I'm so sad that I get so excited about roast potatoes. Final flourish. And those are Herby Goose fat, perfect holiday roast potatoes. I have been gagging to eat these because we have to do little nice things and photos and do all those bits, but I need to eat it. So I'm trying to pick one. This one looks proper. This looks proper crunchy. It's got a shine to it. It's golden. Okay, are you ready for the crunch? Oh, that is one of the best roast potatoes ever. It is so fluffy and it is so crunchy and it's so tasty. Look at that tiny bit. You know that's full of crunch. I'm going to give myself a little bit more salt because I love it. If you like a lovely crispy Herby roast potato, then please like and subscribe to get even more recipes. There's loads of potatoes already and there'll be other things, more things as well, but to be fair, the potatoes are 10 out of 10, so